Hi, good morning. It's Stephen Rosie here, PGA Professional, Glenbervie Golf Club. Thought it'd be worthwhile just showing you very quickly what to expect during a coaching session. So here goes. I think the key bit here is looking around about or looking for some objective information that we can work away from. Initially, we would look at very closely what the ball flight does. And you can see I'm just using myself here as an example. The ball flight there looking from above, a kind of ground view looking across here. In this case, the launch direction of the ball was 4.5 degrees to the right of the target. The ball had a spin axis tilt of 10.9 and has 9 degrees and has ended up very slightly to the left of the target. So kind of, I guess for me, a stock draw shot there, which is maybe just overdrawn slightly, a little bit maybe too much there, or alternatively hasn't started far enough to the right there to bring the ball back down right on the target line. So, job number one is identifying the ball flight. Job number two really then goes into looking at what impact kinematics would cause that ball flight. And we can see here, if there's again looking at my own swing here, swing path 6.6 degrees to the right into kind of old money. Club face is slightly closed to that path and has created a little bit of tilt, maybe a little bit more tilt in the spin axis than we might have anticipated. I'm not sure whether this one has actually picked it up or not. Slight heel strike as well, which maybe complicates matters ever so slightly. However, we can then look at next part of the process really is just to look at those kinematic features and try and map them to some movements and give the player a little bit more feedback in terms of how he's moving, and looking at maybe creating an alternative strategy to try and overcome those the deficiencies that we've identified. So if I look at these here just very quickly, this is just looking at my own. I'm just going to pop a wee line on here which will give me just a little bit of so we'll go one more frame down into impact here. It'll probably catch impact there. So a little bit of a guide here, and I'm going to run this back a couple of frames here. So you can see the club head comes down very slightly under plane there, but then moves off above plane there. So that maps into the in to out swing path, maybe slightly more so than we probably would like. There are some other little bits in there which I'm not going to go into, but the biggest, I think, cause, I guess, if you like, for that for myself is probably when I come through and move through here. I'll stop just at impact here. We can see looking down here, we've got, looks as if I'm standing on one leg almost. I can't really see very much of my left leg here. I could see quite a lot of my hips on this side here, which suggests that I'm maybe not from with my torso and with my hips here, I'm not really opening up to the target enough, which would move the club into kind of this area a little bit more through impact rather than moving away from me there. That produces a little bit more closing off the face than I might like, and at times for myself when I'm not playing a lot can quite easily cause an overdraw to the ball flight. So looking there in summary, for myself, I've looked at the ball flight, I've looked at the club kinematics to find out what's causing that ball flight, and then I've looked into some movements, my own swing technique, call it what you may, to try and find some ways of delivering that club into the ball in a slightly more efficient fashion that will produce the ball flight that I really want. So hopefully all this makes sense. If you want to find out a little bit more, don't hesitate to place a comment below, or alternatively you can contact us at the professional shop through the usual means. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon.